Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve welcoming you back for another build video. And this video I'm excited about because one of my favorite tunes on the PlayStation is my Stamina Necromancer. And this is very similar to the Stamina Necromancer that I used to use on my PlayStation. Thank you. But there is a few little differences to it, not a whole bunch to be honest with you, but literally one ability and how the rotation works. But I like to refer to this build as my Wrecking Ball, and you'll see that here in a few minutes. So, character-wise, character sheet, 10,000 maximum magicka, 15,293 maximum health, 33 and 54 maximum stamina with a 1,522 stamina recovery on my two-handed bar, 3,000 weapon damage with 37.9% weapon critical. Bow bar, only thing it changes, weapon damage goes down a little bit, weapon critical goes up a little bit. You will see my spell and physical resistances on both bars stay the same at 13,949. I like having these two really close to each other, or even like they are right now. If you like having them a different way, by all means, put them how you like. The stamina recovery you'll see is very high. This is very needed for this build. There is a lot of abilities per rotation, and without a high stamina recovery, we will not be able to sustain, plain and simple. I do have 64 points in my stamina. I am using the Shadow Mundus Stone for 19% more critical damage done. I am using the Lavafoot Soup and Saltreese. This is a max stamina, max recovery, stamina recovery food. This is the reason why my health is a little bit low at 15,293. Now, I run with a good healer. We've already discussed this. She's pretty sure that that's not going to be an issue. Once we get this over on PlayStation, we will test it out. If you don't like running with that low of a health, you can always adjust your stamina down a little bit and get your maximum health up a little bit. You can probably get that maximum health into the 17,000 range and still be well over or right around 3,000 maximum stamina and still have really good DPS output. But if you're not comfortable with that low, you can always go a little bit higher by switching out those attributes a little bit. If we have a hard time sustaining, or if we have a hard time keeping me alive with this tune, then you'll see me probably do that as well, but I think we'll be just fine. Especially if you have Warden healers in the group, they're going to provide minor toughness. If you have tanks wearing Ebon, they're going to provide more health. So with both of those right there, you're looking at having about 17,000, almost 18,000 in health at that point anyway. So, inventory-wise, I am wearing 5 pieces of Perfected Locistes, which is found in Sunspire. If you're not familiar with this, it is weapon damage, minor slayer, weapon damage, weapon critical, and when I activate a synergy, I get major slayer. This is the perfected version. If you don't have the perfected version, it's not that big a deal. The only difference between them is 833 spell critical. You will lose 833 spell critical from this not being perfected. Not that big of a deal. I am also using 5 pieces of perfected Reliquin. Once again, if you do not already have perfected, the only difference between this and perfected is the maximum stamina. So if you don't have the perfected versions of this, you'll have 833 less in max or the weapon critical, and you'll have 1,096 less stamina. So take that into consideration. It's not a huge deal. It's going to make a difference in DPS output. It really is, but not a huge noticeable difference, plain and simple. I am using the Maelstrom bow that is infused with a weapon damage glyph on it, so my Endless Hail can keep this up 100% of the time. And I am using the perfected axe, the two-hand axe I'm using, I have sharpened. And I'm using a double dot poison on this rather than having a glyph on it. This poison is very easy to make. It is Alkahest with fleshfly larva, Nirnroot, and Nightshade. No, not Nightshade. Is it Nightshade? Nirnroot. Yes, Nirnroot, Nightshade, and Fleshfly larva with Alkahest makes this double dot poison right here. And if you want to get some hate mail in Cyrodiil or in Battlegrounds, you put some of these poisons on your weapons. This drives people nuts. I don't know why. It's not like it's not part of the game, but people will call you a noob and a scrub for having this on here. It's hilarious, honestly. All my body pieces I do have in Divines. All of them I have a maximum stamina glyph on, except for the helm. The helm is a heavy helm, and I have the maximum health on here, so this provides me a little bit more health. This is why I'm up at the 15,000 range, because I have one piece that I got some maximum health on right here. If you didn't want to mess around with the attribute points, you could always put a maximum health glyph on your legs or chest as well to get another 900. Yeah, you would lose 866 stamina, but you would gain 954 maximum health. So that's another way that if you want a little bit more maximum health, instead of messing with your attribute points, you can mess with the glyphs that are on your on your gear as well. So there are a lot of different ways that you can accomplish getting that maximum health up if you want to put it up. Now I am wearing 3 pieces of Bloodthirsty jewelry, all with weapon damage enchantments. The Stamina Necromancer has a passive that is built in for execute phase. For each Gravelord ability you have slotted, you get 10% more critical chance done during execute phase while you're on that bar. So with my back bar having like a 90, it's like over 90% critical rating if I'm not mistaken. So just about every ability during execute phase on my back bar is an is a critical damage. And with Bloodthirsty on all 3 pieces of jewelry, during that phase it's hitting 30% harder, plus with my Shadow Mundus Stone it's at 19% harder, so you can see how this execute phase stacks and just wrecks things. So that is where that's where a ton of this damage comes from. You will fly through execute phases with a build like this. Champion points: 40 in Warlord, 75 Tenacity, 75 Mooncalf. Tenacity ain't get moved around. You won't see me use a whole lot of heavy attacks here and there, but I gotta wait for this to hit PlayStation 4 and actually play with my group to see how much I will be relying on a heavy attack in long boss fights and things like that. But I think I could take this out of here and put it elsewhere, but for now this is where it's at. I have 8 in Shadow Ward and 72 in Tumbling. I prefer to dodge roll more often than block, so that's why I have that set up there. You set it up the way that you like to, your preferred gaming style. But I make sure I have the points in here for my Treasure Hunter perk to get better quality items out of treasure chests. I have 19 in Physical Weapon Expert, 48 Master at Arms, 56 Thaumaturge, 56 Precise Strikes, 35 Piercing, 56 Mighty, 72 Ironclad, 26 Spell Shield, 26 Medium Armor Focus, 49 Hardy, 49 Elemental Defender, 38 Thick Skinned. This is where I'm using these two to even out my spell and physical resistance. If you like more of one than the other, this is where you can change that up and give yourself more spell resistance or more physical resistance, however you like. Once again, also all these champion points are just what I like. put them in here how you like. It's not a requirement by any means, but for the build that I'm using, this is how I got it set up to work. So you can always mess around with them and put them where you like. Skills, I'm using Endless Hail. Yes, I know Arrow Barrage ticks for higher, but it's... I got a video that I'm going to make here to show the difference in these two abilities right here, and I think it's going to surprise people, honestly, because the Endless Hail, first off, it lasts longer, and I have a really long rotation with this Necromancer. When I am using the... When I'm on my back bar and I'm doing all my abilities, if I can't make it back to my front bar to reapply my Endless Hail before it, or reapply this ability before it falls off, then not only is it not doing damage, but then my weapon glyph is no longer, reapplying, it's falling off, and then I'm leaving huge gaps in DPS. So with Endless Hail, lasts longer, I can get back and reapply it before it falls off, so it keeps my weapon glyph up 100% of the time. I have Poison Injection. This took a nerf over the last couple patches, does less damage over time, and does less damage in Execute as well, so kind of sucks. Consuming Trap, another one that took a damage nerf from the current update that is on console right now. This is significantly lower again as well. Barb Trap. This ability here is just basically, I don't use this. It is here just for that passive I was talking about earlier, for the extra critical strike chance. Normally I would have Necrotic Potency right here. This will, that Necrotic Potency in dungeons and whatnot and trash mobs, after everything's dead, I can consume all the corpses and regenerate ultimate faster. My ultimate is my Pestilent Colossus. This is a huge 3 smash, damage goes up with each smash, and they've retooled this as well. The minor vulnerability that this applies now lasts for 8 seconds, which is an increase up from the 5 seconds that it would be put out total that you're currently seeing on the current PlayStation and current console updates. Now, what they did change on this as well is that there is now a 20% cooldown for that, or a 20-second cooldown on that major vulnerability now. So this is basically done this way so that you couldn't just take 9 Necromancers into a trial and just coordinate ultimate after ultimate after ultimate, keeping up a major vulnerability 100% of the time, because there were groups doing it. Plain and simple, there were groups doing it. And it did take, that 20 seconds does kind of suck, but it lasting 8 seconds now is really nice as well. So I like the trade-off on it. Other people don't, but whatever, I like it. Back bar, I got Wrecking Blow. I have Blighted Blastbone. I have Executioner. I have Detonating Siphon. I have Skeletal Archer. And once again, Pestilent Colossus. My rotation, first off, I'm calling out my Skeletal Archer. There are passives in your Gravelord. Dismember. When you have a Gravelord ability active, your physical and spell penetration are increased by 1500. And then in Living Death, you have Undead Confederate, which when a Blastbone, Skeletal Mage, or Spirit Mender is active, your Magicka and Stamina recovery is increased by 200. So that Skeletal Archer, we're going to keep him up 100% of the time. We're going to be getting both of those bonuses at all times because of him being up at all times. So rotation, I'm going to call out my Skeletal Archer before I do anything else, and then I'm going to call out a Blastbones as well. As that Blastbones is being summoned or traveling to the target, I am going to Light attack endless hail, light attack poison injection, light attack consuming trap, light attack barb trap, bar swap. I'm going to light attack blast bone, light attack wrecking blow, light attack wrecking blow, light attack wrecking blow. I'm not a broken record, that is what I just said. 3 wrecking blows with light attacks between all of them. Then I'm going to light attack blast bone again, light attack detonating siphon, light attack skeletal archer, light attack blast bone, bar swap and start over. The executioner is not going to be used until we hit execute phase. When we hit execute phase, we're going to skip our wrecking blows, and we're going to skip wrecking blows and execute down on a 3 million dummy. On like the Trioatronach or whatnot, we're just going to work the executioner into the rotation. So when we switch to the back bar, it would be light attack blast bone, light attack executioner 4 times in a row, light attack detonating siphon, light attack skeletal archer, light attack executioner, bar swap, start over. So we are replacing the 3 wrecking blows and the middle and last blast bone with an executioner. The only reason I call out that first blast bone when we bar swap is so that if I need to, I have a corpse for my detonating siphon. So little bit rough of a rotation. There's a lot going on in it. It's hard to get used to, but once you do, the damage output is phenomenal. So let's go ahead and parse this for you guys. Call out my archer, call out blast bones, and start. Got all my dots working, so now I'm going to throw out my Colossus, my Hulk Smash as I like to call it. I'm going to use 1 heavy attack, and then only 2 wrecking blows. This is how we get back a little bit of stamina. I always do that on the parts where I'm on the rotation where I'm hitting my pot just for a little extra. You know, I'm going to go ahead and enter execute phase now. Oh, I entered a little too soon. Alright, so 41,724. I hit execute. I got antsy. I hit execute phase a little too soon and let too many things drop off in the process. But regardless, 41,724. Now, some of you may not think that's as impressive as some of like the Magicka tunes that we have, but you have to keep in mind a couple things here. First off, let's go into our combat metrics here. See this number right here, 7,301. That's our physical penetration. We are 11,000 below cap right here. Normally, when I do these parses with my Mag tunes, I'm in the 11 to 12,000 range because I am able to apply my own breach. I had no tank here to apply fracture, so if I have a tank here to apply fracture, that goes into the 44, 45k range, maybe even a little bit higher. If I have All-Kosh being applied, even higher. If I have a crushing glyph applied, even higher. If I have minor fracture being applied, even higher. So the damage output on this build is tremendous. It really is. That one right there, that parse is a little bit lower. Normally I hit 42 to 43, every now and again 44, but it normally stays between 42.5 and 43.3, somewhere in that range. But when you have more group utility and a tank, those numbers go up exponentially. They really do. They go up huge. I'm not going to hit the 6 million dummy at the moment, but I do want to hit this I want to hit this big guy. I'm going to fast forward through this so you guys aren't stuck watching the whole thing. But I want you to see the type of damage that this build gets on this Trial Atronach. Even with all the nerfs that have happened over the last couple patches and coming with this update 24 to console, I want you to see the sustain. I'm going to be able to sustain through this, and I'm really going to be able to put out some pretty good damage. So we'll see you guys here in a minute. All right, so there you see it, guys. 79,752. That's right around where I normally hit with that. I've hit 80,000 once or twice with it. It is it's a heavy hitter, plain and simple. And there's the proofs in the pudding right there. If you're hitting 80K in a perfect situation, like if you're hitting that kind of numbers on this trial Atronach, there's not a whole lot of people that aren't going to want you to run with them, plain and simple. But that's all I got, guys. Try to keep this as short as possible. Obviously, it never is, because I am just an absolute talker and I talk people's ears off. But I appreciate everyone tuning in once again. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and hit the like button on the video. It gives more people a chance to see it when you do that, so we can help other people as well. And if you have already subscribed, make sure that you have hit the little bell icon so that we can get you notifications when we upload more videos. But thank you guys for sticking it out. I appreciate it greatly. And everyone, happy adventuring.